In case you haven't figured it out, Frieza is my favorite character in Dragon Ball. He's just so damn fun to watch, and on this video I want to give you my 10, or what I think are the 10 best Frieza moments in Dragon Ball, and that includes Z, Super, and everything in between. The countdown begins after this. If you want to watch anime like Mob Psycho 100, Re:Zero, and the upcoming new season of Attack on Titan, check it out over on Verve's Crunchyroll app built into Verve, so you don't have to even have Crunchyroll. Just get the combo pack, and that includes all the features within Verve, and it doesn't crash. This thing's only crashed on me once in years that I've used it. Check out Verve, try it out for free, vrv.co/geekdom. Try it for free now. Of course, I must remind you that this top 10 list is my 10 favorite ones. Please feel free to list your favorite Frieza moments in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. So, number 10 on our list on the countdown of the best Frieza moments in all of Dragon Ball is from Dragon Ball Super episode 131 when he teamed up with Goku against Jiren. We never thought we would ever see Frieza work with Goku, and the entire scene was a total homage to Goku and Frieza's fight on Namek. We saw Frieza with his tail being injured, we saw him all cut up, and we saw Goku going Super Saiyan with sort of the blonde/gold hair flashing. It was totally a visual representation of their previous fight, but they were working together against Jiren. It was a scene that was animated so beautifully and looked so great and had great performances all throughout, and it stands to me as one of the great moments in Dragon Ball Super. Number 9 on the list is back in Dragon Ball Z, and that is when Frieza stabbed Krillin through the chest in his second form. Now, this was a very violent scene, and if you only saw this scene on television on Cartoon Network or Toonami, you haven't seen the actual scene yet, because that version was so heavily censored on Cartoon Network that they actually cut out almost an entire episode's worth of material because of how long Frieza's up there dangling Krillin by his horn. But if you watch it uncut, which should be available on all the releases that are out there now, you could actually see how just brutal it is. I mean, he impales him and he's just shaking him and laughing at him like he's a little piece of crap. And it's just typical Frieza being as sadistic as usual. But that's not the most sadistic thing he did in that arc. Number 8 might be. Number 8 is when Frieza kills Dende. Now, obviously, having children die in Dragon Ball is something that had been going on since the original Dragon Ball series, but maybe not this violent. When Frieza was transforming into his fourth form, he witnessed that Dende had the ability to heal, which is how Vegeta was able to bounce right back and give Frieza a fight later on. Well, Frieza's first very strategic move was to get rid of that advantage with one move and one word: bang. Dende goes down and into another dimension. Number 7 on our list is a anime-only scene, and that is the flashback when Frieza kills King Vegeta with one punch. He is the original One Punch Man. Now, in the Bardock special, this did not happen, although a lot of fans seem to misremember it being in the Bardock special, but it wasn't there. It was during the flashbacks when Frieza was confronting Vegeta before he went into his second form that he showed Frieza killing King Vegeta during his revolt with just one uppercut and putting him away. I love this scene because it added an extra layer of dislikability to Frieza. It added an extra layer of evil to him. But at the same time, King Vegeta did pick a fight with him first. But either way, King Vegeta would have been history no matter what, because Frieza had already made his decision to wipe away the entire race. So he was just a casualty, but hey, that uppercut was pretty cool. Number 6 on our list is Frieza coming back to life in the Tournament of Power. I love the entire sequence where Goku goes to go visit him in Hell, and Frieza tells him that he's been doing a lot of mental training and that he's ready, and they're trying to bargain for his return. Then he does that epic transformation. Really enjoyed that whole scene, and seeing Frieza again was such a big shocker that when we had first heard the news, the leak that he was coming back, I thought it was fake. I had to get confirmation from a lot of people before I made the video, but yes, it was true. Frieza did indeed join Universe 7, and his comeback was really fun. Number 5, Frieza betrays Frost. Who could forget this one? Frost thought he was the most cunning evil in the multiverse, but it turns out that Frieza, his Universe 7 counterpart, was just as evil, and perhaps Frost may have been a better liar than Frieza, but Frieza proved that he can be just as manipulative as anybody else by making Frost think they were going to work together and then tossing him out to the point where Frost got so mad that he wanted to get revenge and Zeno erased him early. This was Frieza asserting his dominance over all other Friezas, all other universe, alternate universe counterparts, and proving that he is the OG of, well, being Frieza. So, number 4 is from Dragon Ball Super Broly, the scene where Frieza kills Paragus. Seeing that Broly's never been able to transform, Frieza gets the idea to mimic what he saw on planet Namek when he killed Goku's best friend by killing Broly's father, which put Broly in a rage. And why this scene was so great was not just the performances by Ryusei Nakao and Chris Ayres, but also the animation team, the way they showed his face and how funny he looked here when he points at Paragus and tells Broly that one of his ki blasts from his power-up, one of his random energy blasts, accidentally killed his father, which set Broly into a rage. But I do wonder, what's going to happen when Broly actually finds out that it was Frieza? Is that going to lead to a fight in the future? A revenge storyline? Who knows? But the scene was very entertaining, and every time I saw it in the movie theater, people loved and laughed because it was so just evilish Frieza classic moment stuff. So there you go. Number 3 on the list, Frieza humiliates and kills Vegeta. Boy, was this something. Vegeta trained hard, almost died, exploited the Zenkais, and thought he was a Super Saiyan, but Frieza proved otherwise as he dominated Vegeta so badly that Vegeta lost the will to fight. For the first time ever, possibly in his entire life, Vegeta had no will to fight as Frieza just teed off on him with punches and blows to the midsection, to the back, just hurting Vegeta, torturing him, just for even thinking of rebelling against, the emperor, essentially the emperor of the entire, Frieza force. But Vegeta, of course, would end up dying in a very emotional, heartbreaking moment in the series where he confessed to Kakarot as to how much he really despised Frieza all these years and hopes that Frieza dies by the hand of a Saiyan. It was a great speech. Make sure if you're watching Dragon Ball Z, not Kai, that you watch this scene in Japanese because the dub changed a lot of the lines and really took away what Vegeta was trying to say. Whereas in the Japanese version, you get the actual dialogue, and it's pretty bad, but it's a pretty epic moment for Vegeta's development and for Goku to understand his own heritage. Number 2, probably one of the most iconic moments in all of anime, really, and that is when Frieza kills Krillin. I mean, this is where it all began. Had Frieza never killed Krillin, Goku may have never gone Super Saiyan. Now, remember, prior to Frieza killing Krillin, he blasted Piccolo, so Piccolo was already down, and we were meant to believe that Piccolo was dead. And then we saw something even more horrifying as Frieza lifts Krillin up into the sky, squeezes his fist, and Krillin's final words are those of his best friend Goku before he explodes, and then Goku loses control, taps into that secret power, and begins to put hurting bombs on Frieza. Really, this is a moment that has been shown so many times. It's been such a classic Frieza moment. And remember the impact of that moment when it first happened, because at the time, because of the established Dragon Ball rules, Goku thought that Krillin could never be wished back. So in his own mind, this was the end of Krillin forever. And of course, it wasn't, but he thought at the time it was, which is what pushed him to break his limitations and go after Frieza all out. But it's still a great, great moment and a historic one. Number 1, what is the number 1 best Frieza moment in all of Dragon Ball? Well, we're going back to Dragon Ball Z. We're going back to the Dragon Ball Z TV special number 1, the Bardock special, and that is when Frieza destroys Planet Vegeta. Now, this one's a bit of a asterisk because I will say, the way it was portrayed in Dragon Ball Super Broly, when you see the scouter sort of count down to 0, I thought was really well done and a really, really nice touch. But I think the original one, including the Bardock Rebellion, including the speech that Bardock gives before Frieza fires his blast and Bardock fires his, I think the Z version is better. I think it's much more tragic seeing Bardock kind of floating into the energy, thinking about the future, thinking about his son and what his fate would be. And of course, Frieza's classic line where he says that he is really enjoying the fireworks as the planet blows up. True sadistic, genocidal maniac Frieza at his best. And really, this is number 1 because it's one of the most iconic moments in Dragon Ball, only because it's what set the stage for the entire series to actually happen. Now we know where Goku came from. Now we see what happened to his heritage in this scene. So Frieza, in a way, created his own monster, but it was a very important scene for all the characters, including Vegeta, and of course even Broly way later on, and the other Saiyans. And that about does it for the 10 best Frieza moments in all of Dragon Ball. Please list your 10 favorites down below. I thank you so very much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and remember to take care of yourself and each other.